I'm Morgan from sangaspiritualjourney.com. I am here to introduce the first of my tarot and oracle collection above my head. All of the decks I'll introduce in this series are currently available on my website for readings for purchase. I will be expanding the size of the spreads that I do in the coming weeks. Thank you for watching, and here we go. I started numbering them. This is deck number 1. This is the first deck I purchased when I was visiting my sister. She lives in Florida, and we grew up watching and laughing at Golden Girls with our mom. And she passed away a few years ago. So it's very nostalgic, very comforting. It's in my comfort collection of shows that I can have on in the background. I need something in the background so that the front of my brain can focus on the task at hand. And anyway, I love coffee. And here we go. Okay. So this deck was the very first one. I had never laid hands on tarot cards before. But these ones like suddenly ended up in my shopping bag. The only thing in this deck that I'm disappointed with is that there's no guidebook that came with it. But it's a good, good quality box, and the only thing that came with it, aside from the cards themselves, is this just a card, and basically it just gives the basics of how to set up tarot, how to read them, and essentially just tells you to search online for the meanings. However, that's the only downfall to this deck. I love, like, it's a very 80s motif on the back of the cards, and you can't tell if they're going to be reversed or not, or upright. The palm trees and the bright 80s, pinks and blues and yellows, neon colors. The suits, the major or the minor arcana suits, swords, wands, cups and pentacles. Each of the 4 girls have their own suit, which I thought was wonderful. Sophia is wands. Dorothy is swords. They crack me up. All right, you're going away. Dorothy is swords. Blanche is pentacles, and Rose is cups. And I mean, it's just perfection. And they're actually, for being hand-drawn images as opposed to photos and stills from the show, I couldn't ask for more. They're just so fun. And a lot of the major arcana have, like for the masculine cards, they have the men throughout the show, like the boyfriends, the ex-husbands, the former husbands, it's just a fun energy, a fun deck. Tarot cards are always just a little bit too big for your hands to shuffle, aren't they? Like, they're just a little bit large, but these are on the smaller side of my collection. It's not the smallest deck of cards I have. The Morgan's Tarot, actually. Where are we? Right here. The Morgan's Tarot are the smallest cards I have right now. I can't wait to show you guys that one. That one is, you just have to wait and see that one. It's something else if you don't already know. But I love these, and I do have, my sister gifted me with like a generic reading of, like, generic, like, interpretation for the cards in general. for the tarot cards, because oracle cards are a little easier to open to interpretation. But this is from a creator on Etsy. However, my sister is linked on my website. She's Erica the Dork Witch, and she has her she has created a version of the tarot card cheat sheet for the major and minor arcana, and it's awesome. You can check out her website at dorkwitch.xyz. And if you go to my website, which is sangaspiritualjourney.com, under friends and resources, her page is linked from my website there as well. So this is usually what I use to, now that I have it, to interpret tarot decks that don't come with guidebooks. I really wish this one would have come with a guidebook, because the spin that guidebooks tend to take when they're themed, like from TV shows and stuff, they center around the theme of that show. And I just think, think it would have been fun if whoever created this would have put the extra effort in to do that. But on the flip side of that, it gives me the freedom to connect it to behaviors of the people on the show, the characters on the show, that I feel like I am well versed in the show enough to be confident to say, oh, like Blanche, you may feel like this, or Dorothy's relationship with Stan, or the way Sophia longs for her husband Sal, and Rose with Miles, or her Charlie, like that. I have the knowledge of the show, the background, that I'm confident that I can put that spin on the interpretation myself. So let's take a look at them and just go through them. Let me sort these real quick. I'm going to speed this up for you. All right. We'll save the major arcana for last. So first we have the Pentacles. Got Blanche just baking a cake. I think Rose was more the baker, so I think this is just for the sake of the cards. Some of these outfits, I just love the homage to the 80s. It's just perfection. There's Big Daddy on a horse, the Knight of the Pentacles. I hope these images are coming through crisp. Okay. I can't remember which one this is. If you know, put it in the comments if you remember who. I mean, I know it's the guy that played Barney Miller, isn't it? But I can't remember where he showed up in the show. Okay. She's just beautiful. Red is definitely her color, for sure. Very mysterious. All right. The swords. No, I'm good. Yeah. Okay. The swords. Dorothy, very strong. Here's Stan back here. She's got all the swords. She's just very strong-willed. Oh, there's her. What's his name? The one she marries at the end of the series. It's Leslie Nielsen. I can't remember his name. I'm blanking right now. That's because my brain is in my cup of coffee. Okay, just gorgeous, just absolutely stunning. This is a common theme for all of the aces of swords, with the olive branch in the palm. There's a feather and an invisible hand with the sword in the crown. So, like, for example, here, the 10 of Swords. If I look at my cheat sheets, defeat, ruin, failure, bitterness, collapse, dead end, exhaustion, loss, and crisis. And you can see all 10 swords are in a portrait of Stanley. She's just phenomenal. That is such a Dorothy pose, isn't it? She was just so very, like, I don't want to say lumbering, but like towering and powerful, yet kind of in a there was a subtlety about her, just very casual snarkiness. Oh, here's Dick Van Dyke. It was when they were dating. He was the clown, the lawyer who was going to clown school. And he came in and rescued them when they were arrested for the protest at the war for the docks for fishermen killing dolphins for tuna, fishing tuna. Oh, on the lanai, the ever popular lanai. The lanai again. Sophia is the wands with wisdom, and let's see what is fire, which is, you know, she's a fiery little Sicilian lady. Reminded me very much of my grandma. I'm half Sicilian, and Sophia was just always eternally comforting, no matter what she said. And it was just, she was kind of, Sophia Petrillo is like a culmination of all of the women in my family in one body, in one human form. Yeah, there's a little Grandma Jenny. I'm sure there's some Grandma Lucy in there. There's my mother, my godmother. I just the sass and love and snark. Well, there's Max. Oh God, what's it called? The stand, the Knish stand they had on the beach. Her and Sal, and him and Max and his wife. And they got married for a minute in the show. Best Friend of the Year awards. She's just wise. There's a wisdom to this suit with her attached to it. I can't remember that one either. Is that the same? That's the Barney Miller guy, right? Sunflowers. Yes, Queen. Bowling. There's Max again. Ace of Wands. She's just so spunky. All right, and Rose. There's Miles. Well, and this is, I think, when Rose moved out. She had a near-death experience after she had a heart attack and wanted to just live it up, live life. And the girls didn't want any of that. And she was regretting her decision to do that at that point. I think this is Charlie and their daughter Kirsten. And the 10 of Cups. This is like completion of absolute joy and happiness, I believe. Let me see. I could be wrong. 10 of Cups. Happiness, alignment, fulfillment, security, domestic harmony. That is the essence of the 10 of Cups, was Rose and Charlie's relationship. Just look at her face. She's just so sweet. God bless her. Oh, there's Miles. I'm kind of sad they didn't end up together. Spoiler. The cheesecake. Cheesecake. Oh, and there's Jonathan. Miles and Rose, and there's the girls minus Sophia, but with their classic cheesecake again. And Queen. Let's look at that. Queen. She was towards the end, wasn't she? Queen. Queen. Yes. There she is. The 4 queens. Perfect. Just love them. All right, so now let's look through the major arcana. I'm going to save that one for last. Okay. So these are all out of order, but you're going to see them eventually anyway, right? The Devil, obviously. The Moon, just so majestic. She's just stunning. Stan. With this monkey cone. I just watched this one the other day. He's got his monkey. Oh, this deck brings me joy. The Wheel of Fortune. Justice. And that was it. Fair is fair. Like, there was just one on the other day when Blanche wanted to get a hot tub, but she had to get it inspected because Rose had to follow the rules. And then they realized they would need $10,000 to be able to house the 3 of them who rented from Blanche as renters to get a boarding license, but she didn't have that. And then they ended up just putting all 4 of their names on the mortgage because as owners, they didn't have to do the boarding stuff for the license. And that was all because Rose just had to follow the rules. The Hermit. Death. I love this card. I was just like, bring it. Just, I got it. Bring it. What do you got? Bring the challenge. I will face it and I will succeed. High Priestess. The World. Oh, she's just so powerful. Dorothy. Figure if me and 3 of my friends pull a Golden Girls when we're older, I default to Dorothy. I've got dibs. This is my favorite. The Sun. And this was my favorite before I even started Sangha Spiritual and chose sunflowers to be the icon for Sangha. But the joy in this card, it's perfect. It's Rose. She's just a walking bundle of joy. And she's just the, it's just the essence of her. She is the sun. And the sun, if we look at our cheat sheets, positivity, freedom, joy, success, optimism, confidence, happiness, truth, openness, and vitality. Yep, that's just Rose, 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 Rose. One day when my kids were on their way to school, they were getting kind of down in the dumps because it's just a long stretch of the school year whenever this happened. And I think some tumultuous stuff was happening in the world too, and news and stuff, but I said, let me pull a card for you, just one card for your day, just a general message for your day, and this was the card. And I just sent them to school with the message, just be the sun for somebody today. Just be kind. I always tell them, be kind all the time. You never know what anyone else is going through. But this card came out, and just be the sun for someone in your life. The Hanged Man is Stan, and his toupee is falling. But he's got a little halo behind his head. Stan's the one constant male character in that show, and I approve. The Fool. Yep. As the cat when they were doing Cats, the musical theater or the community theater. Temperance, just always the hostess with the smile. The Lovers, yeah, they had quite a rocky relationship throughout the show, just ups and downs. Yeah. Hierophant. Sophia defaults to Judgment. The Judgment card, for sure. Yep. And the Magician, because she's just so wise and all-knowing. Enough said for the Chariot. Oh, God. The queen of all queens. The Empress. Yes. And Blanche is the star. Should have just like a spotlight on her. Strength for sure. Absolutely. 100% that strength is Sophia. This one, I laughed out loud the first time I saw this. Shady Pines is the tower. I mean, each one of these is just period after each one. It's just perfection in how they were all depicted. So there we are. Shall we do a one card message for everybody for today? Let's see. What one card message do we have for today for the collective? And I like to do jumpers. I think I've said this before, and I'll probably say it in every video when I do this. I like jumpers. I like the energy because they're more intentional rather than me picking. The jumpers seem to, I have a message. See, kind of like that. Should I take that one? No. Let's do a little more. General message for everybody watching. Oh. No, that's 3. I think that might have been clumsy. Yeah. I can tell a difference between jumpers and clumsy. Oh, there we go. 10 of Wands. Well, let's go to our cheat sheet since it didn't come with a guidebook. Wands, 10. Burden, responsibility, duty, stress, obligation, struggles, burning out. All right. And let me look at something else. The tarot numerology. Number 10 is a completion, the end of a cycle, transformation, rebirth, extremes, final outcome, finality, endings, and renewals. Okay, so that in mind, along with what the 10 of this suit means. Burden, responsibility, duty, stress, obligation, struggles, and burning out. You're at your max. Or we, as a collective, maybe had it up to here kind of thing. But 10 means you're at the completion stage. It's about to, you're at like the tipping point. Because the next one after the 10 of Wands is Page of Wands. Has just one. She's dropped off her packages or her burden. And the Page of Wands interpretation is, the upright meaning is energetic, fresh ideas, fearless, extroverted discovery, and cheerfulness. In the chronological system of the cards, the Page of Wands comes after 10, and that meaning is like a new energy, like fresh, like you rested, you're ready to go, and you've proved to yourself that you can handle this, so you're ready to take on what's next, right? Like a strength that comes from completion of a struggle. Strength from struggle. That, I like that one. It has been an entire day since I recorded this video. Started it this morning, recorded it well before 9 a.m. And it is now 6:57 p.m. My workday is done. And I'm just getting back to recording this ending because I forgot to do it earlier. I have to go and get my house ready now because my sister is coming tomorrow. Use your strength you get from struggles. Our struggles make us who we are. Be a nice human. I'll see you next time.